You're looking at a mess of colors. They're beautiful. For artist Nicole Vaugeois in the Cedar Yellowpoint area. I have the pleasure of being in her home studio and also a gallery. You've got the Broody Roost Guest House and Gallery, and you're getting ready for a big show. We get to see how she operates, find out what her inspiration is. I can see that animals play an important role, and I guess because you're in a farm setting. But when did you start painting?
I've always been sort of a sketcher, really. When I was young, I was the kind of kid that wouldn't get away from the table after dinner because I'd get a picture in my head. So I guess the short answer is always. But painting, really, I was an oil painter in my teens, and then I transitioned to acrylics sort of in my early 20s.
Tell me, you said animals are your inspirations?
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, I would say probably have a couple types of inspiration. I'm a farm kid from Alberta, so we grew up with a mixed farm and had the pleasure of having lots of horses and a family that loved animals. So for me, they're humorous, they're colorful, and I know them. So that's my first inspiration, and I unfortunately get to be inspired by them every day. And I would say that when I picked up the camera and I started doing photography and I realized how I could capture these images and light from animals, that was my real inspiration, because finding something to inspire you is the first thing you need to get to the canvas. So.
About your painting, everyone has their own ways of doing it. I've seen people with palettes, knives. You know, show me. Is it all brushwork that you do?
It is mostly brushwork. I've tried some of these ideas that people do with their hands and things like that. But for me, I teach a lot of workshops for students as well. So I tend to like to use big canvases and big brushes. This is my first layer of color. On this painting, I usually do about 3 layers, and this has taken an evening and a half.
I'm going to watch you in action.
Yeah.
That would take me to do this painting probably about 6 weeks. Seriously.
Yeah.
So, okay, I want to see this.
All
the
right.
master at work.
All right, so master. In this stage, I'm always thinking about, you know, what would the shapes be that the person is going to be looking at, and what's going to pop out first. And horses are extremely difficult to paint because they're very three-dimensional. You know, if you think about when a horse is near to you, their face is a lot closer to you than their hind end. So getting face to look like it's in front of the rear end can be difficult to do. Yeah.
Nicole also does something very unique. I mean, the art's for yourself. You do this for you, but you teach people how to paint. But you do one more thing in helping them sort of tap into that artistry and be proud of what they've done. Tell me about that.
I offer the students, when I teach workshops, I offer them the opportunity to have their artwork on display, if they'd like, in my gallery. Because I found that was a block for me as an artist, was not wanting to show anyone. And so the opportunity for them to invite their friends and family and see their art on the wall of a gallery gives them bolstered confidence so that they can start to feel like an artist. Part of the new goal this year with my art tour and workshops is to be able to bring people into my, what I call living studio or living gallery, because my inspiration comes from all things rural, the farm, and so I want people to be able to experience and touch a horse and see a chicken and hear the chicken, and then to be able to look up on the wall and see them there, because that's what gives me inspiration.
So you are going to be sharing space in this new barn with the working farm, and this is your new galleries up in here.
You bet. This will be my studio and workspace, so I can actually have lots of students in here, and then we'll also have all the art on the walls for people to be able to enjoy.